your thoughts on both that settlement and how it fits with this wider revolt.
Yeah, I think this is a very complex phenomenon we're seeing, this very real tech backlash. And it's very different than, say, like the Tea Party backlash of 15 years ago, where there was an actual funder, the Koch brothers, and there was an actual reason for the racial backlash, which was the election of the first African-American president. Both of those things were inciting elements, and both of those things came together and created that movement. This is very different. This is genuinely grassroots. This has come from the bottom up. This is the American people saying enough is enough. And why are they doing this? I would say that there are two reasons. One is a growing sense of unhappiness with Donald Trump and the tech billionaire buddies around him. The other is a general unhappiness with the state of American society in the age of social media and smartphones.
Mm-hmm. And you use that example. The tech might be different, but you use the example to point out that it took this many years to catch up to something that parents in states red, blue, and in between appear to agree on, which is letting an unaccountable company call the shots with very powerful tools that hook their kids is no good. But it took this long to get here. And you're saying there is almost a learn our lesson, enlightened public kind of mood of, wait, we're not going to wait 10 years and be on the back end of fighting AI.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen what social media has done to our kids. We have seen the increased rates of depression, the increased rates in some cases of teen suicide, all as a result of social media becoming much more prevalent in the life of American children. And we've seen what it has done to American society, the divisions, the partisanship, the polarization we've seen. All of that, I would argue, comes out of social media. I mean, think about it this way. Social media came of age in the Great Recession when income inequality in America was soaring. Donald Trump emerged and said, the reason you're unhappy, the reason that income inequality exists in this country, the reason those factories are closing, the reason you're falling behind is because of immigrants. It's because of undocumented people coming across the borders, the Mexicans, the Muslim Americans, the brown menace, Antifa out in Oregon. He was able to point the fingers and say it's all the result of people who are not like yourself. They are the ones who are doing this to you. And he was able to do this entirely because of social media. You know, the political scientist Henry Farrell says social media doesn't just misinform the public. It malforms the public. It doesn't give you just wrong information. It changes your perception of society, the people around you, and what other people are thinking. And Trump was able to use these tools to manipulate the American society to blame other people. Now it's been 15 years. Trump's gotten everything he's wanted. What's the result? All of these issues that we had 15 years ago, they're still with us, and they're much worse.
Yeah, I mean, you put it very clearly. And while today you have this big victory, which I think also, as I reported, suggests the fact that they didn't want to go further. They didn't want to face a jury. They know what's up out here in terms of how people are feeling. And you talk about the distortions. That goes to sort of, what did we get for this? You know, the old saying is, if you're not paying for the product, you're the product. It's not free. Right. Your data, maybe what your kids are up to online, how to market to them, that's the product. And people have, I think, wised up to that a little, while we're still very much a phone society and a social media addicted society. And Trump, you mentioned, it may sound quaint now because we've moved on, but at the time, X was known as Twitter, and he would post these things, and they would ride the rage bait, and then they would ride the news cycles. And people, I think, would rightly question some in the media of saying, well, so he tweeted it, so you post it, but you won't even cover a somber presidential address by then President Obama. But this guy just rants online. I mean, it sort of was of course, a preview of the many ways that he broke people's brains. What do you see in these midterm ads and the revolt?
Well, I think that what Americans are feeling is that they simply do not trust Trump and the tech billionaires with artificial intelligence and AI. They don't understand what the policy is. They don't understand what the plan is. And they're right to be alarmed, and they're right to be worried. This is potentially a very dangerous technology for individual privacy, for national security. And we're not seeing any plan, any proposal, any guardrails in place to make sure that this benefits the American people and American society in general. I think that's a tremendous revolt. I also think, MAGA can't say they're unhappy with Trump, but they can say they're unhappy with AI. There's a permission structure to basically say, hey, I don't like this technology. I don't like this AI data center. They don't want to say, I don't like Donald Trump and the fact he's cozying up to all these guys and creating these data centers. But it does create a permission structure for people in MAGA, in the Republican Party, to say that they're unhappy with the way things are going, which is why you're seeing in all these red states the same movement that you're seeing in blue states.